So how much money did YouTube pay me with 1,000 subs? Well, the short answer is not enough. The long answer though, like everything else, is it's complicated. So if you're thinking of making the content creating thing a career, I have some good news and, well, not so good news for you. And as I break into all the numbers, and not just with AdSense, but with other ways you can earn on YouTube, but I will show you how much I got paid directly by Google in a year as a small YouTuber, going from 1K subs to about 3K subs. And it's great because I literally became monetized on January 1st, 2023, so a year is very easy to track. But the variability is that, like you, I'm in a very particular niche, but my ad revenue as a tech reviewer, my RPM is right in that mid-range with niches, so it's a good average for comparisons for whatever you do. So maybe some of you will make slightly more and half of you will make slightly less, but even if your earnings are not enough now, or maybe ever, why I still recommend everyone who has even the slightest interest in starting a channel to do it. But again, ad revenue is only part of the whole picture because there's sponsorships, which I have a very simple rule for that I wish I knew 2 years ago. And then there's affiliate marketing, and why, if you're a creative, it might not make dollars right now, but it does make sense to invest in yourself on YouTube. But the caveat query to how much does YouTube pay is, are the earnings enough, and what is enough? Now, enough to go full time, to quit your day job and just talk into the camera about a topic you pray you won't get jumped on in the comment sections about, or on a topic you hope you won't feel like an imposter for discussing? Or is it enough just in terms of straight return on investment with how much AdSense Google directly deposits into your bank account? So my first month with 1K subs, January 1st of 2023 to February 1st of 2023, which will not give you the full picture of my earnings, but I did receive a whopping $57 of ad revenue in that month from YouTube. So yeah, nothing to write home about exactly. And clearly this revenue doesn't, but should not just pay for the camera equipment and the lights and the laptop spot to produce these videos, but the countless hours spent alone editing in a dark room on content that you're not sure will ever see the light of day because it may not be good enough. Or if you do get the courage to publish a video, well, who's going to watch it anyway? Let alone, what will the CPM be, the cost per milli, which is what advertisers pay per 1,000 views on a specific channel. And this is the biggest discrepancy across all niches, as some big channels get paid very little, while other small channels can get paid quite a lot. So subscriber numbers may not fully matter here. And what topics are you discussing, be it financial advice or gardening tips, all that matters as well. And then your viewers' locations and buying habits will also influence this number. But that's not the end of your calculations, because then YouTube takes a 55% cut of that CPM, which is still better than most other sites for creators, but that cut then gives us our RPM, our actual revenue per 1,000 views. And this is, of course, only after you've been monetized by hitting that 1,000 sub count and 4,000 watch time hours within a year. So then what quantifiable number is that? What RPM would be enough for you in your niche or per video? Can a viral video get you paid? So specifically, when I look at each video, I can track how much I made on that one video and then calculate how long it took me to produce that video from start to finish. And I can then come up with a shockingly meager hourly or day rate for each video. So for example, and this feels embarrassing to admit, but this is a new video of mine. It's only been published about 2 weeks. So over time, I will earn more on it. But this 25-minute long video took me about 6 weeks to make. And I rented a camera and lens from lensrentals.com to do it from a camera brand I have never covered. And then on top of that, I paid a model to do a photo shoot with. And then I spent dozens upon dozens of hours writing, shooting, editing, etc. And right now I have earned $24 on that particular video with about 8.2 thousand views. So if you crunch those numbers, 6 weeks of work for $25, that return on investment is so upside down that it's stupid. Yet again, remember, I have other ways and better ways of making money on a video. And I didn't make that video because I thought I'd make money on it per se. I made it because I wanted to work with that brand in the future. So this is me planting seeds, investing in my channel by making the best possible video I could, period. Which then you might presume, should you focus on shorts, because I can bang one of those out in a day or two and maybe go viral, or at least get a bunch more views and reach that brand that way. But the RPM on those is even worse. So on a similarly viewed short, say 11K views, my grand total ad revenue is not even 50 cents. So not only does it not make sense, even if that video got over 1 million views, virality is so unpredictable that I personally don't put a lot of time into shorts. Yet what I do is I use Opus Clips and online AI software to cut up my long form videos so I can get several shorts from one long form video. And although they are drastically easier to make, the returns are also drastically minimal and can also complicate your algorithm unless you're specifically a shorts channel. And although it may help with boosting subscriber count, those particular subscribers may never watch your long form videos. And for me, my filmmaking niche, I really only earn on those videos. Now, for context, niche and circumstances are everything. But about 2 years ago, I went all in, so to speak, as a gear review channel. Even though I have dabbled with many niches from philosophy to therapy, which funny enough is probably the only topic I'm actually qualified to talk about, and even have a second channel for film criticism. But 2 years ago, I was a stay-at-home dad doing odd jobs, and I was blessed to have even been able to consider YouTube as a means of income in the future, because here's the kicker, you have to see it as a small business, for better or worse. And I've also been thankful to have a lot of difficult careers in the past, which also included long hours and minimal pay. I was a school teacher and a behavior therapist, yet I've also worked long hours in film and TV as a production coordinator and writer. And then finally, my wife and I had some good fortune in real estate of simply buying in a bad market and selling in a good one. But this was after we had a string of really bad luck and multiple failed business ventures of our own. So I learned a lot as a small business owner, because you have to consider that you probably won't turn a profit for at least 2 years in any venture of unpaid, backbreaking work, which is on top of needing a day job to afford investing in yourself. And you may not find real success, if at all, but at least for 5 years, depending on many variables. So in my mid-range niche, is there a world where YouTube's AdSense will pay me enough as is? Maybe, but very, very unlikely. And unless you're in financial advising or a car review channel or something that advertisers pay a lot for because your audience is more likely to purchase those bigger ticket items, I would advise that you have to consider AdSense as purely a bonus income stream and not your primary. This is why I lean more into affiliate marketing and sponsorships. Now, this is where I currently do the best, with multiple streams from different vendors with real and digital products. Yet Amazon is my largest at the moment, so really my bread and butter here is honesty. I really try to only review and promote products I believe in and have vetted, and in my videos I try to share the good and the bad for each piece of gear I'm reviewing, and if they pass that smell test, then I share a link in my description for the item via Amazon at no cost to the viewer, or I share a link to the individual vendors page, which can give you a range of 5% to 30%. And with that Nikon video that I was just referring to, I had a bunch of product highlights like ads in the video with promo links in the description that has currently earned me about 5 times the ad revenue in those 2 weeks from all those affiliates. But remember, you also have to pay taxes on this stuff, on all your earnings, but you can write off a lot too, and that's probably a separate video altogether. But the most exciting prospect is with sponsorships, which again is why I made that video. This is also the biggest unknown, with the largest obstacles for small channels to navigate that I don't hear enough people discussing, because what sponsors are willing to pay varies so widely that it's hard to understand. But I have some easy rules now to follow with them that I wish I knew when I was starting out. And it's really a work in progress, as I was getting sponsorship offers way before I was even monetized. Again, 2 years ago, everything was unknown, and no one in my niche was really discussing it for the size of the channel that I had, or was realistically hoping to garner in the near term, and I had no idea what you could make on YouTube. So currently I have 3.7k subs with over 500,000 views, which is relatively quite small. But on February of 2020, I released this short film where I called my future self over 2 years in the future, and funny enough, that future me is now present me, as I called today's date from the past, April 24th, 2024, a somewhat random date then, but I wanted to create a time capsule of the struggle I had creating videos before I was even monetized, so I could remember what life was like for me when I only had 290 subs, and what it might be like for you if you're just starting out.
It's April 24th, 2024, and you could have called me in 10 or 20 years, but you chose now. Why?
Well, you know why, don't you?
I guess I do. I don't recall what specific anxiety sparked this fear.
Probably because it was stupid.
Had this meltdown yesterday because I was like trying to unload the dishwasher at the same time as the clothes just got done, and Rocco was about to wake up from his nap, and I hadn't sat down, and like I had this video to do, and then I didn't know how I was gonna do it. Right, life versus YouTube. Yeah, but Rocco's a very active 3-year-old, and you have like 300 subscribers.
Not even.
What I can tell you is true. You do get more subscribers, and what you can obtain is bigger than that. So don't like limit yourself to these like meager, quantifiable expectations. Like I'm sick of people telling me stop focusing on the metrics. Like everyone who says it already has like tens or hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and their channel has views, and they can go to dinner parties and tell people they make YouTube videos on the side because they actually earn a f***ing income from doing it. Okay,
and it's
okay,
like I'm
stop.
spending.
You're right. You're totally right. It's easy for me to say when looking back, don't worry about the future. Don't worry about that. Because I'm still dealing with that, right? It's still an issue, but...
Well, I mean, like, when do I get 1K subscribers? Like, when can I monetize? Like, tell me...
No, look, I know that's what you think you want to hear.
And still, this is all my struggle. I'm spending almost all my free time making these videos. In fact, most of my time thinking about how to make better videos and reading analytics and scouring what topics I should cover next and what brands I should reach out to and what clients to connect to, and then how to set up my Linktree better and get my Patreon going faster and building a better website or retooling my contracts and invoices and redoing my thumbnails for older videos and then writing scripts and recording A-roll, B-roll, C-roll and editing, lots and lots of editing, and then rinse and repeat. And not only am I making pocket change for all that effort, it's exhausting on a whole other level. And all the while, the only people who understand any of this are other YouTubers. That's also why I want to make this video, because most of my friends and my family have no idea what I'm doing, and nor do I feel comfortable telling them, as there's still a lot of stigma around being a YouTuber, especially for a 44-year-old dude who's really just starting out the journey, and especially for me here in Los Angeles, where most of my friends have real film and TV jobs, which also is not an easy career path, as their hours are awful and finding consistent work is almost impossible. But either way, I'm usually too embarrassed to tell anyone what I'm actually doing, spending hundreds of hours on YouTube for hundreds of dollars. And I don't know how much I need to earn in a month before that feeling will go away, but it is extremely isolating. Yet thankfully, I have found some great online friends who are also creators. So I highly recommend finding other YouTubers to talk shop with, to compare metrics with, and to share frustrations and victories with. And thank God for them, honestly. So what I've noticed from those conversations with other creators is that the most important metric to why some videos have bombed or help propel a channel's growth, which is worth keeping in the forefront of your mind, monetized or not, but you have to keep crystal clear of not just the who, as in who your audience is, who are you serving information to, but more importantly, you need to know why. Why do you make these videos? The videos I've seen with the best growth are only motivated by an idea, not by an end metric, because those videos are not art, they are advertisements. And look, I'm not above commercialism. My family, like yours, can't live on ideas alone. We need money. But I have noticed that some of the biggest creators on YouTube got that way because they were simply following a good concept and not just making a good product, promo, or copying Mr. Beast. And audiences do respond to that authenticity. My worst performing videos are usually sponsored. For example, I reviewed this amazing laptop screen extender, literally has made my life so much easier as an editor, but this sponsored video tanked, and with only 429 views, I made $2.56 on it. And I can't tell you the exact pay I got for it, yet I can say it was additionally less than the free product itself, which is clearly not enough, but I do it again because I really wanted the product and I like the company's liaisons, even if they out-negotiated me. So you do what you gotta do sometimes, and I got my first free product to review when I only had 80 subs, and at that time I was so grateful. I felt legitimate as a YouTuber for a second, and as silly as that might sound now, but looking back, I can now see the company's true motivation. So before the negotiations, my simple sponsorship rule now is, if a company reaches out to me to offer a free product to review, and I sincerely want the product and would have bought it anyway, I will receive the product. But, and I repeat, I will not sign a contract, as you shouldn't, nor will I promise a dedicated review promoting that product. However, if the product is amazing and I think my audience would love to hear about it, I will do it free of charge when I am able, but with no contract signed. Yet some of my favorite companies will just send me products with no strings attached, and that kind of trust does make me more likely want to promote them. Yet if a sponsor wants to partner together, this is where it gets really complicated, as I've been paid anywhere from $250, which is too low, but the product was fairly expensive, or to about $500-ish, which is still too low, but for a very short 20 to 30 second ad read. And then for a dedicated 8-minute review, I believe creators at my level, say nearing 5K subs, should be getting about $1,500 and up roughly, and double that per every 5K subs you have. Now, there's no firm rules here. It's the Wild West out here with these numbers. Some niches can get way more with a lot less, and more creators don't share or can't share what they earn, so you sort of just have to feel it out and put value on your time. Yet, if a company reaches out to me and they're open to discussing a budget, which most aren't, I will first pitch a compelling idea and then start negotiating. However, so many creators will do free product review videos, so my idea has to be unique, or they will have to really want my style of review, or they will likely just, and more frequently do, move on to somebody else if the budget is too high. So sponsorships at my level are very hit or miss, but will eventually be my main focus going forward, especially since AdSense is so low. So this is why I can only count on affiliate marketing as my most consistent income at the moment, but I can still only currently expect a few $100s a month across all links here. Now, after my first month with 1K subs and the $57 I earned, there were tons of peaks and valleys ranging from over $110 to just $40. And in 2023, my first full year, I only made $810. And with the first few months of 2024, I've only made like $260, which again is not enough. And this is still dependent on the quality of videos I make, but usually it boils down to making not just more content, but more content that I know will be SEO or search engine optimized. So this is where programs like TubeBuddy come in, link below. So I literally will search a topic I want to make a video on. I look at the SEO scores. I then come up with a thumbnail. And if I can make those two things compelling, then and only then do I start scripting. And for me personally, my channel really only started to grow once I started using a teleprompter, which is a very unique skill to develop that isn't for everybody, but it's immensely helpful for me as it front loads my production. So the real editing begins on a Word document. So then after I got a good SEO score and a good thumbnail, do I begin the tedious task of creating a video. Unless a company hits me up in my inbox, then I have to work backwards if I legitimately believe in the product. Now, specifically, if you're a review channel, learn from my mistakes, because if you have to review cameras, don't buy them, just rent them. So hit up lensrentals.com, also linked below, and put my promo code BCAT15 because 15% actually goes a long way. And see what I did there? It's both true and good advice. Hence, sharing an affiliate link at no cost to you can be mutually beneficial. So be judicious with your promotions, but it is a hard thing to balance, making enough money without selling out. Remember, in the end, all you really need is 1,000 people who appreciate what service you are providing to them to make a living. Because if 1,000 of your real supporters gave you just $100 a year, you'd be good. So create value for people. Help people in whatever field you're in, and you can in fact earn an income without feeling like an imposter, and AdSense can then be that icing on top. So legitimately do big things, invest in yourself, and you can make a living as a small YouTuber, but it takes time. So honestly, keep going.